BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. With live betting options, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable, BetOnline is truly the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your rewards. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, the Iron Butterfly Podcast. I'm your host, Polina Edmonds, and today on the show, we are going to be talking about the ice dance event at the 2025 World Championships in Boston. And to do that with me is 2022 Olympian Jean Luc Baker. Hey, Jean Luc.
Hey, what's up? Yo, how we doing? This is sick. I'm super excited to be here and I'm ready to talk about some ice dance.
Yeah, it was so fun being at Worlds and doing the practice camp commentary with you. We got to sit together for the women's practice before the short program, but you were doing practices for each commentary for each practice, right? Leading up to the
Yes.
events.
Yeah, I did the pairs, the men, the women, and the dance, which was super cool just to see. I did it throughout the season too. I did it at Skate America and US Championships, and it was really cool, like to see some of the skaters that I saw at Skate America, how their programs have developed and how they end up looking by the end of season, because that change, even though it's like about 5 months or 4 or 5 months, can be crazy in some of the products that people put out.
Totally. I think that's the best part about watching the Grand Prix up until Worlds is just that the progression of their programs are usually like you can see, yes, you're supposed to be ready for the Grand Prix, but there's so much like welding, if that makes sense, that goes into the programs like 6 months later. You're like, okay, this is what it was always meant to be at the start of the season.
Yeah, it
It's
was fun
crazy.
doing it with you too. I mean, like you were great at it, and I thought we had a great bounce back. So hopefully we get to do that again in the future.
Yeah, it'd be super fun. I also enjoyed it. All right, let's get right into the dance event. So, in first place, our world champions, three-peat, Maddie Chalk and Evan Bates. They
Yes.
were incredible. I mean, in both the rhythm dance and the free dance, I felt like they were just so clean and everything was so well timed. And I mean, they're just so experienced. Everything was polished absolutely to the max. So I really enjoyed watching them live. I love their Take Five free dance. What were your
hmm
thoughts?
I actually really enjoy their rhythm dance. I thought that they brought such a high energy to their performance. I mean, I get the luxury of watching them train when I coach at the Ice Academy of Montreal. And then just seeing how that program's developed, taking out pieces here and there of the music, because I know they started the year with a lot of pieces with it. But I just think they have such a level of professionalism to what they produce. And I think that here at the World Championships, that was something that was a huge testament to not just their skill set and their experience, but themselves as athletes. And what they put out, I mean, was top tier, great execution. I really like the free, but I love the rhythm dance. I thought that, like they really brought a lot of energy. I think that they did exactly what they needed to do to secure that another gold medal, being the performance they put out for the free. But they gave themselves that cushion after the rhythm dance to be able to like make sure that when they went into the free, they still had to fight to maintain that spot. But gave themselves some good breathing room because I know that rhythm dance is just so hard, first off, not just for them, but for all the athletes in that event, and making sure that any little slip up can really make a big difference in your standing. And that's, they made sure that they delivered to the best of their ability. And I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I think they do such a good job of showing elegance in all of their lifts. I think that's one of my favorite parts of ice dance now is how creative all of the competitors are with their lifts, and all of them are so different. But Maddie and Evan specifically, everything always looks so graceful and so light and easy. And I know that's a testament to their skating style also, but it is, I feel like really hard to make it look like that start to finish. And so it's something that I really notice when I watch their creativity come out in their programs.
Yeah, and they're really good, honestly, at taking previous elements that they've done and morphing them. I mean, a lot of your top ice dance teams will be doing a lot of elements that they've already competed many times, just like you would do in singles. I mean, you have the same jumps, maybe a little bit different entry and exits, but we try to often take elements that we have and embellish them from year to year, obviously creating new ones here and there. But for the most part, I mean, taking that base of something that's really solid because people love those things. And it also just creates so much more confidence within your performance when you know what type of elements you're going to be putting out. And I think that for them, that's something that works really well for them and allowing them to have that high level of execution and elegance.
Absolutely. Well, what about our silver medalists at the World Championships, Piper Gilles and Paul Poirier? They were incredible to watch as well. So smooth. I think that was something that I really admired about their skating in both the short rhythm. It's easy to say short program, and then I'm like, oh wait, it's the rhythm dance. Rhythm and free dance. They're very unique in just the speed and power they hold across the ice and the smoothness of every single transition. What were your thoughts on their programs?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think this is the first time I've seen them live this year. And I thought the rhythm dance was a really fun take on their dance style, being the 50s, 60s, and 70s, being the like established theme of social dancing through ice dance that they needed to be doing this year. But I thought they had a really nice and fun take on it and very characteristic to them. And something that I think that they do so well is just like the poise of ice dance. Now it's like very old school looking when they skate. I mean, it's a lot maybe less fluid within like body movement, but it's so structurally sound. And Paul is one of like the best ice dancers, in my opinion, of solidity. And what I like respect so much, like in their free dance, is just the ability for them to maintain the integrity of like ice dance to an extent. Now, I think that ice dance is amazing in the direction that it's going, but I'm missing a little bit as we're pushing further and further into these generations of like that old school ice dance look of respecting framework and seeing. I know we don't have compulsory dance anymore. I love the creativity, but I think that what I really appreciate about what they bring is they keep that essence there. I wasn't like a huge fan of their free personally. I thought it was skated beautifully. I didn't connect to it. But I think that looking past that personal approach of what they're producing then, I think it was like beautiful.
Yeah, I think their free dance, I was waiting for a little bit more drama, whether it would be like the music picking up or not, or
Yes.
just like certain sharpness in their movements. And it felt like it was just this really modern take on a tango. And yeah, I wanted there to be something a little bit more fire, but then it just kind of ended.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like we get that from them sometimes with some of their material. It's like so out there and so creative. You're like, oh wow, that was amazing. And sometimes for me, it just doesn't hit.
Yeah.
Um, their opening lift, though, I have to say, was like unreal. Like I probably don't remember off the top of your head, but like being such a nerd in that ice dance space, particularly, it was just like unreal. He did like a combination lift of rotational and rotational, and he went rotated one way and then changed directions, rotating the other way. And it was just like the level of skill in order for both of them to be able to like manipulate that type of momentum and rotation is absurd.
No, absolutely. And also, I really liked the final leg stretch ending position that they did. I just thought it was so impressive. The details, it's all in the details. So,
Yes,
recognized, appreciate, respect.
that's it.
What did you think about the back cutout on his suit? Because we were talking about
Hmm.
it at Worlds, like me and some other people just talking about fashion and like our favorite costumes and whatnot. And I had heard about this costume, a man suit with the back cut out. And usually like women have the back cut out, right? Not men. And
Right.
so I remember hearing about it and thinking like, I don't know. And when I saw it in the warm up, I also thought, I'm not sure about this. But as they skated the program, I was like, you know what? Like I'll give it to him because he has such great posture and also
Right.
like it just, I don't know. What was your thoughts as someone who also appreciates fashion?
Yeah. Well, I think for them, I like super cool concept. I think that if I would have loved the program, if I would have liked the program more, I should say, then and I was more invested into it, I would have gotten it. I think because I was like expecting to see tango. They were doing tango moves, but I felt like it didn't align with the music as much as I was anticipating, which I understand you can dance to anything, and I respect that. But I thought that the idea of it is very cool and different because no one's done it. I just felt like it was like, this is a cool idea, let's do it. Not how do we make this tie into either her costume or how do they connect together or like have her in a matching thing. I don't know, right? Like there was something that was like, this is cool, but I didn't feel like it like really was connected.
Yeah, fair. I like it. All right. Bronze medalists,
Hmm.
Lilah Fair and Lewis Gibson, bringing home a medal for Great Britain.
Hmm.
Historic medal for them. Because it's been since Torvill and Dean, I believe, that Great
Hmm.
Britain's had a medal. So big deal. What did you think about their performances?
Well, I think their rhythm dance was really, really solid. Again, like that was for me one of the top rhythm dances of the season, what they put out with that program. And I know that they've been working a lot just on just trying to get more skating skills within that program, particularly because for them as a team, a lot of people are looking at that. A lot of people are looking at their skating skill ability and just how they can push that more within being top, well, I mean, third in the world. You want to see like a high level of execution. And I think that they really started to show that more at this event, particularly in the rhythm dance. Again, another team, I wasn't really sold on the free dance. I thought it was, I understand they're wanting to show more of that flowy style with the slow part of Beyonce. And then they thrive in the second half, being the pieces that they chose. It's a little bit more lively, and like they're some of the best performers in terms of level of performance, level of professionalism, like the clarity of their movements. Like everything is so clear. Um, so I think that here it was amazing. Like obviously they gave themselves the position they needed to by being third in the rhythm dance. I think sixth in the free was deserving to an extent. I mean, actually not to an extent. I think it was deserving. I thought that their free was skated okay. They had a couple little mistakes here and there, and even skated clean, it wasn't going to score amazingly because I think that it wasn't showing their strengths. I think that for them, it's like you want to show yourself as a well-rounded skater, and you're like, oh, I want to strengthen my weaknesses, but you don't get points for that. You get points for your strengths at the end of the day. And I think that they were really trying to push that brand and push that flow, that softness. But I think that it hurt them here and this season. Even though they did walk away with winning, I think both of their Grand Prix, if I'm correct. I know they won one of them, but I think that that probably would be a different approach for next season. Great to try it now, and still walk away with a bronze medal, which is unreal. And they're showing that they can be fighting for those spots. So it's super cool.
Yeah. I thought that their rhythm dance was really good. They're an interesting team for me because they're not quite as memorable in terms of the uniqueness and creativity that I was seeing across all the other teams. And their Beyonce program was super high energy, great for Boston crowd, but I was a little bit not sold on their like dancing moments to the iconic Beyonce music. Like I know
Hmm.
that they were doing the single ladies dance and stuff like
Yeah.
that in the choreography, and to me it just didn't quite hit.
Yes.
So I was honestly a little bit surprised when they ended up edging the Italians for the bronze because I really liked Marco and Charlene's free dance. And
Hmm.
I liked the uniqueness and creativity that they were bringing to it that I didn't quite feel the same way about um, Lilah and Lewis. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the Italian team because obviously I know that they were not quite as in sync at Worlds as they have been in different competitions this season. So that obviously is the result of them being in fourth place. But I don't know everything about ice dance levels. So what happened there? What happened there?
I mean, everyone has their opinion on it. I actually think that both their programs were not it this year. I think that they executed well, for the most part. But I think that like next year, I'm super excited because I think that their rhythm dance is going to look amazing and their free dance is going to look amazing because I think that these two programs did not show off their strengths. I think that they're beautiful skaters. Like they are so small in stature, but you don't really recognize it that much when it's just them on the ice, and they can fill so much space. But being smaller, I think that having super static movements do not do anything for you, unless it's like really powerful, but it didn't come across that way for me. I understand like the creativity side of things, like trying to push things and explore new things. I know it was an exhibition program of theirs, which they turned into a free dance. And that's cool. Like again, super cool concept, just risky. Again, I guess the year to do it, not ideal for them to go into Olympic season knowing that they want to get a medal at home, being in Milan. I don't think that going in now as fourth place is what they'd love. But at the same time, I think that that's the mark that they left on like their careers for this season. So if they go into something more flowy for next year, people are gonna be like, oh, like that's Charlene and Marco. Like that's why they're in that top three spot of the world. That's why they're have been there for so long in that place and like able to push and be able to solidify and stay in that mix of those top teams. I thought that it was just like okay here. And I think that the creativity, like great. I love that. But like again, like you don't get points for like there's a little bit of points given for creativity, but if I'm a judge and I see something that's beautiful versus I see something that's super creative but looks a little bit not in your style, I mean, I can guarantee you most of your panel is going to go towards it's something that's beautiful or it fits you. So I think that I liked the exploration of pushing things. I just think that it's risky to do in competition, and I hope that they go a little bit more in their vibe for next year. But that's just my take on it. Sometimes I have pretty hot takes, but I like to share them because maybe they're gonna hear it and they're like, oh, you know what? I agree, or they're like, yo, Jayo, why are you saying these things about us?
No, it's great. And that's exactly why I wanted to bring you on to talk about it because I think it's so true that it can be really helpful for skaters to hear stuff like this, but also it's like it's constructive. Like you want the best for them. I want the best for them.
Yeah.
So it's, at the end of the day, an opinion's an opinion. No one has to listen to us, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I think it's a great point also that you play to your strengths in an Olympic season. And right now, this past season is the time to kind of like experiment as, you know, honestly, any season that isn't an Olympic season is the time to experiment. But when you are all in, you need to lean into the style that is your strength. And I'm sure that next season they will come back hungry, really
Mhm.
hungry for that Olympic podium.
Very.
And they've already proven in seasons past that they are in that, mix for the top three. So
Yeah, I agree.
excited. I'm
It's
excited.
exciting. I mean, it's exciting because there's so many teams. Like, I think this World Championships just goes to show, like, no one's really safe. Like, there was so much movement, and that's so rare in ice dance. Like, usually you see your rhythm dance order, and you're like, after that's the rhythm dance result, you're like, okay, cool. See the next thing tomorrow. Maybe you're gonna around like eighth or ninth place. You're gonna see somebody like maybe doing an 8-9 switch, but you're seeing teams like moving all around. I mean, it's so cool to see that there's willingness from the panel and the skaters can have that ability. It's not just set in stone.
Absolutely. I've also never experienced an international ice dance event where I wanted to be in every warm up for the free dance. Like I looked at the opening first warm up stack and I saw the Finland team in there and everything. And I was like, okay, I know who these skaters are, and I actually do want to see their free dances. It wasn't like I was like, okay, halfway through, I'll show up and I'll watch the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
two
yeah.
groups. I think that is so awesome about like how amazing it is to watch the ice dance event
Yes.
now.
And the Finnish team just in general. Like, I mean, I think
Yeah.
that they've had so much success this season. I mean, they pulled up to 11th place, I believe, but I mean that they got lucky. It was them or Allison and Saul from Lithuania.
Yeah.
Allison and Saul unfortunately didn't get to qualify for the free dance, which is crazy because last World Championships they were sixth. And it's a small error, a huge error, but the same error from both teams in the midline step sequence. Mateus fell at the very end and Allison fell right in the middle. and it was within 0.02 of being in that top 20, which is just absurd. That's like a chasse or a smile. Like I don't know what that is, but for real, that's like a judge waking up and being like, "Oh, I heard that song this morning when I was leaving the shower." And they're like, "That I'm gonna give like a 0.25." You know what I mean? It's like it's nothing.
I
And
know.
to
Oh,
have a mistake like that is just so scary because it minuscule like, "Oh, they fell once." And then you're like, "Wait, why didn't they qualify?" Like why? And it's because like that's our quad, like a footwork sequence in a rhythm dance. It's like that's our quad, and that's if you don't do it, it sucks. And
yeah.
they did it. It's just they had minuses and a fall in it, so it sucks.
Yeah. It's that, and that was the drama of the rhythm dance, honestly, where those two
Right.
teams should have absolutely qualified to the free and probably been in like, the top 12. And
Yes.
instead, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that kind of a Hail Mary for the Finnish team for
Oh
Julia.
yeah. So opening up the event and then throwing out a 120. No, straight up though, Polina, I watched it. I'm like, okay, this is probably gonna get 119, 120. And then the audience is gonna be like, why are the next seven teams in like 101 to 108?
Yeah, I know, right? I
Everyone's like,
mean,
I don't understand what's going on. So
yeah.
yeah, but the Finnish team are great.
Yeah, I love their style of skating. I mean, they have like such a balletic look to them in terms of the elegance and the posturing and everything, and their free dance was beautiful. So I'm glad that I was able to catch it.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay, well, moving back over to our fifth place team,
Yeah.
Christina Carreira and Anthony Ponomarenko, Team USA top five. Huge for
Hmm.
them. This is huge
Yeah.
for them. And they skated really well in Boston. So, what were your thoughts on their programs and just the delivery?
Yeah, I mean, like it's a tall order, absolutely. I think that they really stepped into a doorway with the mistakes from those two teams, being the Finnish and Allison and Saul. They made sure that they rose to that occasion because one, if not both of those teams, would have been in that same position of where Christina and Anthony were fighting for those spots between your like fifth and ninth place. So I think that. Not saying it was like, oh, they could just walk through a door, but they have to still deliver, absolutely. And I think that they did a great job of that. Their rhythm dance, I think that it's very fun for them. And I think that two-thirds of it was very much in both of their style. I know they had a slower part in the middle, and I think that they're just trying to play a little bit more, and I liked it. But I think the first and the last part very much was in their style, particularly Anthony. I mean, he's just like he's crazy. Like he's so good. He's so energetic and playful with an audience, and I think when you give him room to be Anthony and let Anthony show up, I mean, you know him. Like he's just such a bright light as a person, and I think that it's so fun to be around him. And you could see that in that first and third part of the program. Like he was going crazy. His head was shaking everywhere. And like it was like controlled, but not controlling. Like he was letting it go, but like within his pocket. And he wasn't throwing himself and then kind of too stiff either. So I thought that they really delivered in the rhythm dance to like set themselves up for success. And I think they did a great job in the free. I mean, skating where they skated, it's very challenging. There were some phenomenal skates before them. And I think that this is probably the best case scenario for them was fifth place at this event. I mean, I know a lot of people were surprised with certain people in different places. I thought that for the most part, all the results in your top 10 made sense and they were fairly right. I thought the judges did an excellent job and I didn't watch close enough to see if all the calls were perfect, but like I think it was judged fairly, and I thought that they did a great job. I'd said it at U.S. Championships too. They did a costume change from the first half of the season, and I think it was significantly better for both of them. So again,
Yeah.
a little bit more in their both of their pockets, and allowing their truer selves to come through. I think I really liked it and just promising as a US team. I mean, I know Chock Bates had been there for a long time and they need youthful skaters, younger skaters to be stepping in those doorways. And I think a fifth place finish here was like they should be walking away beaming.
Yeah. And to skate programs with such like synchronicity, is that the right way to say it? Yeah, synchronicity and like just sureness. There were, in my perspective watching the free dance, so many of the teams had at least one bobble here or there, or their twizzles, like the very ending of it, lost synchronicity or whatnot. But they were really consistent in both the rhythm dance and the free dance. So I was so happy to see them come out with those like clean skates. And I mean, that rhythm dance is so difficult in terms of all of the
Yes.
tiny detail work, like you were saying, like everything from the quick hand and feet moments to the head rolls and whatnot, it's all very well placed and it's so extremely hard to do and not look sloppy at the end. So
Yeah.
they, from start to the finish, like it was very well polished. And the free dance to Carmen, obviously, it's such a dramatic and intense program. I was actually a little bit surprised that I thought there was going to be like a bigger roar from the crowd like by the end of the program, but I feel like the first half of their free dance does a really good job of like telling the story and then the second half kind of loses you a little bit. So I feel like
Yeah.
maybe that was why like it wasn't like quite the same reaction from the crowd,
Yeah.
but it was a great delivery for what they had and what they did. And I hope that they continue on with this like kind of drama, romantic type of
Hmm.
style in seasons to come, and especially next season, the Olympic season, because they really, really excel in that way.
Yeah. And I think like that crowd little not drop off, but that what you felt. And I think that I agree with you completely on that. I think it's the intensity was so it was like so intense at the beginning. And you could really feel the patience and like the draw and the pull of each other and they're pulling you in. And then it really felt from like the 2 minute to 3 minute 15 mark, there was like, we want to make sure we're really hitting some technical cues here. It was still performed very well. But there's like a difference between like performing and like living. And I think they were like really living the first 2 minutes. And then they're like, okay, we have to perform this very well. And I think they did a great job of that. Cause again, like one little mistake, like you miss a rocker in a footwork sequence or a little trip and you don't get your pluses. Now you've gone from fifth to like 11th or 12th, which is like a huge drop, but it's because of how tight that rhythm dance was and how strong some of those free dances were. So I think that they did a great job and a great just overall showing again at a world championships for them, hopefully setting themselves up to be on that Olympic team. And yeah, we'll see. Exactly.
Yeah. We've got some really great teams in the US, so I'm excited for
Yeah,
them,
it's deep.
excited for everyone.
It's
All right,
deep.
well, sixth place, the Spanish team, Olivia
Yeah.
Smart and Tim Dieck. What a crazy worlds for them, and what an insanely beautiful performance, especially in the free dance. Their short dance was also, their rhythm dance was really entertaining, but the free dance, I think that was like one of the biggest standing ovations of the week, honestly,
Yeah.
because I was obsessed with it. I know the like there were so many Dune programs that went on at Worlds. I probably watched like seven different Dune renditions throughout the week, but I loved it because the music just fills the arena so well. It's like the drama that you want and that you need. But theirs
Yeah.
was hands down my ultimate favorite, and they were honestly my ultimate favorite in the free dance period for that free
Yeah.
dance. I don't know. What were your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, rhythm dance first, just to start about it. Like, I think that it improved immensely as the season went on. Like, I think the rhythm dance is really, really hard. And being a newer team, like second season together, and for them as well, I think just making their mark on that top 10 circuit, like coming to this event, I know one of their goals was just to be in that top 10. And I think having a harder start to the season in Nebelhorn and then going to the Skate America, getting a Grand Prix medal and getting like a huge just audience reaction for the Dune free dance. I think that people started getting a little afraid of what that program can do for them. Rightfully so. Like if I was competing against them, I'd be like, yo, I know they're like 3 points behind in the there might be 2 or 3 points behind in the rhythm, but like that might be 4 points ahead of me in the free. And it just goes to show like what they're able to do with that program. And I think that just the leaps and bounds that both of them have made, but particularly Tim, have just been absolutely incredible from starting together 2 years ago now and their first season, learning how to spell each other's names and skate with each other as like one thing, but now being able to like really have him step into himself and it looks like he's now starting to lead and not observe and then follow. because there's like a huge difference within the skating world of like partnering when that happens. And I think like their free dance was is dangerous. Like it's there's through and through. It's not just a program. It's like art 100%. Just because you heard people clap for like 2 seconds after each element. And then you knew audience members would start cheering before an element that what they really wanted to see, like audibly before a choreo spin or like before their straight line lift, the choreo lift. Like people are like going crazy before it even happened because they like were so excited to see what it can make you feel in that performance. And I think that they embodied just both of themselves so much into that performance, and you could see that from their reaction when they ended. Like they're like, wait, hold on a second, we're done. And I think that everyone in the arena felt that. I mean, Olivia's phenomenal, like one of the best ice dancers with her performance and her skating and what she's been able to do and helping Tim step into that role of being somebody that can skate with her and push her, I think is one amazing place to be. But for them, I'm just so excited just to see where they can go as a team and what they can do, because I think them getting a third place medal here, like I think they could have given them a higher place medal without giving them the score, because they won't give them a higher score yet just because of where they were. But I truly believe like that was the free dance of the night, 100%. And yeah, like everything about it was just top notch.
Yeah. I mean, the choreography, every single detail timed perfectly to the music cuts.
Hmm.
I couldn't have seen like a better piece of art, truly, like you said. It wasn't just a free dance. It was like, what did I just watch? And it's so funny because I'm like looking at my notes for everyone right now, and I have specific little details that I remembered from programs. But the only thing I have written for Olivia and Tim are in all caps, insane.
Seriously though, it was like it really was, and definitely the
Yeah.
performance you want to have at a World Championships pre-Olympic season.
Yeah.
Um, just like it was insane. And being there in the stands watching that come to life. And I know what that feels like differently in my own experiences. And I know you do too, where you're like, what just happened? But they train like that and they've been competing like that the majority of the season, right? And I think that just goes to the testament of who they are as athletes and their willingness to grow and push themselves. So it was amazing. It was just crazy.
Yeah. I'm really happy for them. I hope that they come back super strong next season, building off of this momentum. And I'm seriously so excited to see what art they come up with next.
Yeah, me too.
So good. All right. Well, Marjorie and Zach in seventh from
Hmm.
Canada. Um, Austin Powers, rhythm
Yeah.
dance. And then I believe it was Sound of
Sound of Silence.
Silence for the free
Yeah.
dance. Yes. What were your thoughts?
Oh, Austin Powers, I thought it was good. I thought it was good. A little forced on the character, but I thought it was still very good. Just I know the seventh place for them here was not what they were obviously going for. They would love to probably have a top six, if not five finish, especially being at the final. I thought they were lowballed in the free. I thought that they should have been like a 121 at least. A 118, I was like, okay, like that was a little low. Personally, I know I did just say about 5 minutes ago that the judging was super fair, but they must have their own reasonings to why they gave it that. I thought that the program, the free dance particularly, was so emotional. I thought it became a little flat because it's the same the whole time. It's 4 minutes of the same kind of the sound of you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to sing it.
Yeah, it's
Like
it was really it felt long.
right.
Yeah.
Right. It felt long, and that is not what you want people to feel, particularly in ice dance. Because an ice dance, we're gonna be like, wow, or like, wow, right? And there's two different seats that you can sit in, and I think they gave everything they had, absolutely. But I think that they would definitely want to make sure that when they select things for next year, they can take the audience a little bit more of a journey throughout the 4 minutes, as opposed to like emotion, because it becomes a little redundant. And I think that similarly, I'd love to see them do a little bit more in the rhythm dance of maybe a little less gimmicky and a little bit more mature feeling. I know they've had a lot of fun rhythm dances, but I do really think that going a little bit more, I don't know, like I wanted to see like I want to see not that you're just good enough to be in the top six, but like you're holding yourself in that space. So I'd love to see how they turn out for next year.
Yeah, I feel like their skating is it's there's like nothing wrong with it when you watch it outright. Like it's so lovely and they're both beautiful skaters, but there's like a touch point missing of like emotional connection sometimes for me, and that's kind of how it felt for the free dance, especially because Sound of Silence, like it's such an emotional piece
Mhm.
and it's one of those slower, more lyrical pieces, and it just kind of it felt a little bit forced, similar to how you said in the rhythm dance, where they were really performing aggressively and emotionally to the crowd or to the judges, but not necessarily taking like softer moments for each other to give us a blend.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they kind of fell flat on that program. So hopefully they bring a little bit more of that like gentle combination next
Yes.
season.
I think like you talked a little bit about connection, and I think that's so, so important. And I think that skating after Dune, Olivia and Tim, I think is very dangerous for everyone else that may not have that intensity of connection. Because like they were so just in their world that they invited us into. And I think that anyone that skated after that, like you're starting to see those flat moments. Like if you would have had Christina and Anthony skating before it, maybe we wouldn't have felt that drop off at that point because that program was so in for 4 minutes. It shows that it can be possible, and like as an audience member you're taken on a journey, so when you're like being brought on the journey and then you're like waiting for your like your maps to load and then you keep going, there's that like break, right? I use analogies
Yeah,
all the time, but
I
like
love
that
it.
that break and then you're being brought back in. But as soon as you do that, I now am like directly feeling something differently. And I think that with the Dune, there was no break. You were in it. And then so like a Marjo and Zach, you're in it, you're out of it, you're in it, you're out of it. And now like I'm on my seat, constantly almost rocking back and forth, like literally or not.
Yeah. And
But
I'm
like
like tracking where the number is on the Jumbotron of like how
yes.
long, like what mark are we at minute
Yeah,
wise?
exactly.
And
Oh, what
you
element is
don't want to
this?
do that. Yeah.
No, like you want to just have that pull the whole time. And the only way to get that is if you're submerged into your world, inviting, as opposed to like, I'm performing. Because now you're like, okay, I'm going to sit
Yeah.
back in case I get poked. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Totally.
that's it.
All right. Well, Evgenia and Geoffrey from France sitting in
Yes.
eighth place.
Yeah.
They had the Rasputin rhythm dance, which was hilarious. I actually hadn't seen it yet this season, so I was really surprised, and I mean it was really fun. I feel like they're for both the free dance and their rhythm dance, they kind of rock with the same type of style for multiple seasons now. So I feel like they performed exactly how I would have expected them to perform. But I would love to see a little bit more variety in their like program choices, honestly. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like the biggest thing I can say about like their programs is like, yeah, that's so French. That's just like the fastest way for me to describe it.
Love
The
it.
rhythm dance, absolutely. Like it's so sick in my opinion because it's so different. And
Yeah.
seeing it in that top five group, you're like, okay, cool. They're setting themselves apart. It's so alive. I mean, comparing like to Charlene and Marco, like which was executed, but then you see Rasputin, which again, they had a little mistake, a little big mistake on their stationary lift, which became a level one, which would have changed things drastically in their skating order for the free. But really, for them, I just feel as though like that their rhythm dance was like so in the pocket of where they should go. And the free, I think it was super creative. I mean, very French. Like that's the best way I can put it. I think that they have like such a distinct skating style and partnering ability and intensity that no one can really match. Like if someone else tried to do what they do, it just like would be flat. So I agree with you. A little bit more versatility would be cool in the free, particularly. But they do some really cool stuff and like they have some interesting connections, and I know they've been working a lot just on having more connection within their skating. I think for them, just like where they placed after the rhythm, it just put a damper on how they were going to perform that free. Because I've seen them do events where they do a solid rhythm and a solid free, and just how much momentum that starts building for them, like confidence wise. And I think that they went in with the best strength that they could, but I think that there was like, okay, but like what I was expecting to be higher, and then like that goes to play just a little bit on how you perform, and yeah, I really think that for them, that's definitely like the route is just piecing those two together for when it really matters.
Yeah, totally. I'm really curious to see what they end up pulling for their programs next season because Rasputin was like a really, really fun program to watch, especially live. And I feel like if they run with that like uniqueness where it's not exactly the same like robot style or whatever, but it's that spunk because that's what sets them apart from the rest of the field is that like spunkiness that they have. It's like
Yes.
they're like the punk
Hmm.
ice dancers of the group and they never come in with like, yeah, we know all that we know everyone's gonna do the romance and like, the
Yeah,
lyrical,
yeah, yeah.
but we're gonna do this and it's gonna
Yes.
rock. And it
Yes,
did, so
it did.
play to your strengths.
That's it.
Caroline Green, Michael Parsons, ninth place. So three teams in the top 10.
That's
Not too
crazy.
shabby. I really loved their rhythm dance. Also, Austin Powers. I liked theirs a lot more than I liked Marjorie and Zach's. I thought it was like just really detailed, and it was the best that I've seen them perform it this season. Free dance, loved, loved, loved watching it at nationals. This one, it was still so beautiful, but they definitely were a little bit off in terms of synchronicity. And I think they were the team that directly followed Olivia and team,
Yeah.
Olivia and
Yeah.
Tim. And it was you had to skate like perfect following Olivia and Tim to kind of hold that
Yeah.
attention, like you said. And they looked a little bit more nervous on their feet. And yeah, unfortunately, it was a tough skate to follow, but still gorgeous free dance for the season. What did you think about them?
I think rhythm dance, I mean, like for them, I think their goal was just to get back in that top 10, be back at the Worlds. Last year was really tough for them, the previous season. And I think this year is just getting back into things healthy and really showing that delivery that they deserve to be on that Olympic team. Just how those selections are made within the US itself. I think that being at this World Championships was like very important for them. And I think that putting out those solid performances consistently throughout the year was, again, a huge stepping stone for them. Um, Rhythm, I really liked it. They did great. I thought it was super fun. It was super Caroline as well. I thought Michael really played well with it, but I felt like Caroline was like, yo, I'm living right now. She was like in that pocket so much. I thought Michael was like really trying to live it and was performing living balance, right? I think the free, like I said, I like anyone that skates after Olivia and Tim, especially this World Championships, is going to be flat. Like you have Chock Bates skating after them. I'm sorry, love them, but it would have been flat.
No, I
Um,
agree. It was
like
epic. Yeah.
like it would have been better for everybody if they either skated last, like in that group, because then at least there'd be a 5 minute warm up that people could still be buzzing about the performance. But I think that everyone was watching the next couple, being Carolyn and Michael, and was like, "This is beautiful. That was crazy what we just watched a minute ago."
Yeah. No,
Like
exactly. Yeah.
I would never like I would not want that life. I would have been like, oh, my lace came undone and like caused some drama for a second before the program started, just to like try to get people's mind off of what they just watched because of like there's no scenario where you can pull someone in that much more when they just got brought in that much. They did everything they possibly could. I think the free dance was built beautifully, and I mean I'm biased, I did it, but
No,
like
it
I
was, I loved it. The detail
yeah.
work is really, really, that's so funny.
Yeah, I just realized I was like, oh, I just
You're
said
like,
that.
they
Like,
have
my
great
bad.
composition. I know because
Yeah,
I did
it's
it.
like I don't know who the choreographer is, but it's sick.
No,
No,
it is one of my objectively as somebody that is not involved in ice dance, like I really, really liked their free dance this season. And I know at nationals, like from everyone talking, there were a lot of people really admired the free dance. And I think it would have hit here as well. Even going after Olivia and Tim, had it been perfect and like no bobbles, like perfectly synchronized, them
yeah,
floating, like they needed to be completely locked in, like we talked about, and they
that's it.
were they were just like not quite on the way that they could have been. So
I
Yeah.
agree that it was a little mismatched here and there, and is a shame. But again, like I said, they got that skate at U.S. Nationals. They were able to deliver the performance that got them to this World Championships and got a solid rhythm dance in. So I think just being in that top 10 is exactly where they need to be, just to be like solidifying or striking for contending for those places to be on that Olympic team.
Yeah. Good. They're in a good spot. They're in a good spot for next
I
season.
think,
So
I think
very excited for them. Um, and I know it meant so much to them at nationals to climb their way back and get on the world team. So
Mhm.
big strides.
Yes,
I
huge.
really want to know your opinion on Diana Davis and Gleb Smolkin.
You want mine first, or you want to do yours?
Yeah, no, I want to know your opinion.
I think that they're amazing, personally. I think that he particularly is probably one of the best ice dancers out there right now, for stability, performance. Performance is something that he needs to work on more, and like the confidence and like his trust in what he does. But just like watching like skating skill ability, I'm like, yeah, he can skate. Like a lot of the like, I mean, you're top 10, like you're a top 20. The whole ice dance event, they
Yeah,
can skate. But like I know when I see someone, I'm like, yeah, they can throw down. Like that's some good skating. And I think that he is phenomenal at that, for real. I think that their material was not very good personally. I think the idea was cool, and the concept behind what they were doing. I just think that it wasn't showing their strengths as much, but I also know that they're new in Ice Academy Montreal this year. And I think that trying to learn where a team should go and needing to push yourself out of your comfort zone, especially when you're in a new coaching facility, is so important, because maybe next year they might go into something that plays way more to their strengths. I think that there wasn't anything about it that wasn't in their strengths, but I think that I'd love to see them do like classical, like something a little slower with some craziness. I mean, she's so good at performing, and his ability to partner and like his skating skills are just crazy, and the lifts are just like what, like just insane. So for me, I just love them, love their skating and what they produce. I just really hope that they get the right material to show themselves off, because I know that that's gonna really hold them back if not.
yeah. I was gonna say like my take on them is that my eye definitely goes more to Gleb, like as the stronger skater of the two. And I think he also totally agree. He's like one of the best men in the dance field right now. Um, but in terms of her like personality and her performance qualities, I do also want to see her kind of hone those in to
Yeah.
perform with, excuse me, to perform with him rather than it be like separate and you're kind of like
Yes.
fighting for, you're supposed to watch the girl because like the girl is on presentation always for pairs and dance.
Mhm.
But in that way, like I want to watch him because his quality is just so superb.
Yeah.
So I really want to see them blend those two together to really like stand out instead of it
Yeah.
being like this like separate feeling.
So much. And I think that's something that they really need to like play with and go towards, is more of that connection and that like caring for one another, when the skating's happening, and less caring what the audience or the judges are thinking, and more about like how they can create together. Because again, that's when it's like you're getting brought into their world, rather than me being like, hey, do you want to buy this car? Like, I don't want to be a car salesman. Like, I want to bring you into the world that I'm creating. And I think that they give a little bit of like, do you like it? Do you like it? Do you want it? Do you want to buy it? Versus like, no, 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 this is my product. You can come over. You can, hey, my name's blah. You know what I'm saying? I think that
Yeah.
that kind of energy, and when they're more in that connective space, people will start like really jumping on the Diana Gleb train. But that's just me. I think that their overall skating is like unreal. I just think that they need to find that quality, which can push them further than just 10th.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to watch their journey unfold as well. It is pretty crazy that they've only been skating a couple seasons together and they're in the top 10 now. Like
Mhm.
for ice dance, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. All right, we went through the top 10. Were there any other teams that stood out to you? For me, like I always love watching the Czech team, N Natalie Tashlerova and Filip Tashler. They're like speed and power every time I watch them every season is like pretty unmatched, honestly.
Yeah.
But I know that they haven't been able to like break through to keep scoring higher. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on them.
Yeah, I mean, I think both Czech teams are so fast. But like that's selling me one portion of so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I need to see, and it's harder being a brother sister to be like so connected to like a romantic level, but you don't have to be like in love with the person that you're skating with to create connection. Like I can create a connection with somebody in a room that I've never met and not even speak to them just by like that openness and that willingness. And it doesn't have to be sexual, it doesn't have to be anything. It can be just like human connection. So I think that what I like is the speed and their strength. What I'm missing is like authentic emotion with both the
Mm.
teams, like connected authentic emotion. I think that they're both being very expressive, and I think that it's true to themselves, which is cool. And I feel that from both brother sister Czech teams, but I just want to see a little bit more of that connection together, and I feel like I'm missing just some ebbs and flows throughout their material. I think Taslarova did a pretty good job of it. And the younger Czech team, I think, are exploring what that can look like. But when you're just pushing this hard for 4 minutes, after 2 minutes, I'm like, okay, like I would like to see a different speed. And then what happens for me is like, I'm like, whoa, that was 4 minutes at the end. And I'm like, okay, it was the same speed the whole time. That's like physically impressive, but it's not like visually at that point impressive anymore. I'd love for them to slow down at like the 2 minute 30 mark to 3 minute 15. Give me like a slower part. And the last 45 seconds, hammer it out and be like, how do they have this much speed at the end? But if you're just driving around a
Yeah.
track like in NASCAR for this many laps, like I'm gonna get a little bored. I want to see like change and like all this stuff. So that again, like maybe a hot take,
No,
but
totally. No, it's a good take. Yeah.
thank you.
Any other teams
Yeah,
that you were
yeah,
like, whoa, I loved that?
yeah.
Share them with the crowd.
Okay. There, I mean, there's quite a few. I think that the second place finish team, Yuka and Juho, create a lot of fun, like a lot of fun, and they just get the audience moving, which is super cool.
Yeah, they
I
did the chorus line
Yeah,
free
yeah, they
dance.
did. They did. Yeah,
Oh
which
my
got a
God, talk
standing
about the
ovation.
crowd on its feet. That was,
Yeah.
yeah, they were standout too. Totally.
They need to keep playing in that realm. I think that their skating is good. If I think they need to improve their skating skill and like their partnering work more, because their performance level is obviously great. Connection together is like quite good. I just think that like they're gonna if they want to try to break into that 10, which is gonna be just like crazy hard, but if they want to, they're gonna need to increase the skating skill level and whatnot. Um, Lucia and Theo, the other French team there, I think that they have
Hmm.
like a really good quality. Like he is very good, and I think underrated as a skater, just a little bit. And I think that again, free dance here was skated okay, but also not maybe the best material for them. For me, it lost me a little bit, but like the overall like the skating base of what I'm seeing, I think it's really promising for the future. The second British team, 17th place, Phoebe and James, like put on a really good two showings here, and to be 17th and getting those two spots, I think is just unreal. For them, I think they're just going to be over the moon. They have some really good qualities with both of their skating. And again, like I'm saying that about all these teams, but like they have such promising futures. I think that they're really good. And I thought that Holly Harris and Jason Chan really showed up well at this event, the Australian team, and put out a solid free dance. It was like early on in the event, which was like hard to skate, and people are still walking into the arena. It's like you could see like, okay, after this skater, 10 more people come down the stands. And I think it's very hard to skate that early. But I think that they put out some really strong showings, and they've been showing and pushing themselves this season. So I think it was really exciting. I also really like they didn't qualify. I like the Swiss team a lot. They ended Gina and Beta Leon. They did a Barbie inspired rhythm dance and they competed at Junior Worlds. But another team with like very good skating skills, they just need the right material. Like I was watching them in practice all week and I was like, oh, they're like pretty good. They're going to be dangerous in like 2, 3 years if going in the right direction and with the right material. But I do think that they have some amazing qualities, and obviously the rest of the ice dance event, everyone's amazing. If you can be getting through a free dance, I'm like, props to you. It's hard. It's not easy to get through a long program or a free dance, and I think that yeah, it's just really exciting just to see the future of ice dance and what way it starts to go.
Yeah, I think there's already been so much progress made in the last like decade, honestly, with dance. And seeing where we're already at now is already phenomenal as a viewer. But the amount of amazing teams that are young and on the come up, including like, they're right on the heels of the top 10. And I think that's probably the most exciting part of ice dance right now. So I also can't wait to see where it goes.
That'd be cool.
It's gonna be awesome. All right, well, thanks so much for coming on and chatting worlds with me. This is awesome. I loved hearing your perspective, and I love all of the hot takes because they're really fresh and honest. And I mean, that's what everybody needs to hear.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun and I love chatting with you. So yeah, I liked it. Thank you.
See you at Coachella.
Oh, that's right. See you at Coachella.